to this Wednesday's episode of Gabe's Cave. You know, it's a Meet the Artist, and I got a fantastic artist for you guys to meet this week. Before we can do any of that, we're going to take just a minute. We're going to thank our sponsor, RPGhiring.com. If you live in Arkansas, Kansas, Missouri, Tennessee, or Oklahoma, and you were looking for a new career and you just hadn't found out what you want to do yet, give those guys a call or look at that.com and check them out. They are building people, changing lives. And this week's artist is Mr. Will Powell. Yay! And the crowd goes wild. All right, brother, you sent us a nice array of cards here, and it looks like that you sent back your artist proofs as well. It looks like you didn't hold on to those 5. Was there any reason that you sent all of the cards back and you didn't keep your artist proofs?
So, I believe this set is my 3rd that I've done, and every time I've always sent them back. So I thought, may as well, more chance to get them out to people who want them. So why not?
Well, I think
it looks nicer too.
Oh yeah, man! I think the viewers are going to be excited because I'm sure you know this, you being a seasoned veteran with us and all. But if they don't get chosen right now, they randomly get put in loot boxes. So It could be a year from now, and somebody could win one of these cards.
Yeah, I've had one before in the loot box. I had a Lucio Perillo card.
Whoa!
I know, I was buzzing with it. It's at mine, pride and place with the rest of the ones that I have.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, you really got lucky there, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I opened it. I was like, oh here we go.
Well, that's awesome, brother. Let's jump into these cards, man. Right up here up top, dude, we've got the Predator. Now, what kind of Predator is this? Is this the regular hunter Predator?
I would assume so. I'm not the biggest Alien or Predator guy. These were suggested by my brother, who is a bit of a fan, more so than me at least. But I just went with one of the ones that stood out to me. So I'm not entirely sure which one it is, but it is cool.
Yes, brother. Yes, it is. And I know we have a lot of people that go after the Predator cards. Misty, Gabe's mama, is one of them. And next we have another one of her favorites. We have a Xenomorph here. We've got an Alien.
Yeah, I really liked the idea of doing a bit more with the blacks, a bit of shadowing, having him sort of be popping out of the shadow. Yeah, I really like that one.
Yeah, you can see his inner mouth right there. Just barely see the teeth, like it's getting ready to come out at you. So nice job on that, brother. Next, we have one of my favorite characters in all of pop culture. I actually have him tattooed on my arm right here, and that is Kratos, God of War.
Yeah, I have played, I believe it was God of War 3, when that came on PlayStation Game Pass a few years ago, because I'm a little too young for when the original games came out. I was never allowed to play the games with the older ratings. But when the newer ones came round, I jumped on God of War. I still haven't played Ragnarok yet, but I'm prepared for when I do to binge that all the way through.
Yeah, the first time I ever played God of War, and that's one reason why I got it tattooed on me, my first deployment to Iraq when I was in the Army, there was soldiers leaving, and they had things they were trying to sell that they wasn't trying to take with them. And one of the soldiers had a PlayStation 2. He had like 6 games. 2 of the games was God of War 1 and God of War 2, and then he had like Guitar Hero. So I got the guitars, and that was the main reason why I bought it, was to play Guitar Hero. And I got bored one day, dude, and I just popped God of War 1 in, and I had no idea, and just started playing it. And I feel like it did so much for my mental health to like get off convoy, get off mission or whatever, and go back to my room and play God of War. And it started when I got back. It hit me that game meant so much to me that I went and got Kratos tattooed on my arm. So yeah, I'm glad to see Kratos make an appearance in some cards.
Yeah, he's a very, very fun character. Very fun.
Next up, brother, we've got the God of Thunder. Speaking of gods, and that is Thor here.
Yeah, I really say what you want about the movie, but I thought some of the costumes in Love and Thunder were really, really quite campy and silly, especially the helmet. I'm a big fan of a Thor helmet. Hell, I have one tattooed on my wrist there. But I thought I saw the costume and I was like, I have to give it a crack because the blues and the gold go really well as well. So got to turn out really well.
That's awesome. Yeah, bro. It does. It's a fantastic looking card. Nice colors on the gold. Next up, we have another fan favorite. And once again, say what you want about their Disney Plus show that they did, but you can't deny what She-Hulk did in the comics, breaking that third wall, kind of like what Deadpool did. So let's talk about this card. What made you want to do her?
So a lot of these were sort of around the time of those shows coming out, and I enjoyed it for what it was. There were places where I thought the show could have been a bit better. But I've always quite liked She-Hulk. I just think she's really interesting because of just she's so different from other characters. And at the time as well, I was reading the She-Hulk comics, which were quite good when I was reading them. But yeah, I thought I may as well give her a go. She was popular at the time, and I thought it turned out quite well.
It did. It definitely did. I can't see that where a viewer wouldn't be trying to snatch that up. Next, we have another character from a very popular movie, probably the biggest hit that we're going to have this year, and that's Bowser from Mario.
I've always loved Mario. Growing up, I had a Wii and a DS as well. I had a lot of Mario Kart and Mario games on it. And I still, now on my Switch, like to bring it out and play Mario Kart. It's just fun overall. I mean, I'm more of a Donkey Kong man when it comes to who I choose, but I just love Bowser, and I just thought I'd give him a go, especially because I believe the trailers came out for the Mario movie around the time that I did this, and I was just blown away by it, and the movie itself blew me away as well.
Oh, it's a fantastic movie. Yeah, just fantastic movie. Now, have you heard the theory that Mario and Bowser are actually buddies in real life, and that all the video games that we've played are basically just them shooting a movie like they're on set, and they're playing opposite roles, but in real life, Bowser and Mario are like, and because in all the video games, when you play, there's like that dude in the cloud, but he's got the little video camera and he's recording you. So that's like, fandom conspiracy theory is that, every video game that we played, they were just filming a movie in their own universe that we were a part of, and that Bowser and Mario are actually buddies, and that they just, Bowser just plays a bad guy on TV, essentially.
That would be a very interesting angle to go at it if they were to do sort of a spin on it, because that's just a fun concept and a fun theory. To have them do it, and them all just be just a cast of, actors playing these characters. I think that'd be really fun.
Yeah, if you think about it, it makes sense. Like Bowser's real name is just some dude named George, and he doesn't cause any problems or try to kidnap princesses. He pays his taxes and goes to work like he's supposed to every day.
Oh, that'd be brilliant.
All right. Well, next up, we have the man with the glowing eyes. We have the Sorcerer Supreme himself, Doctor Strange.
I'm a massive fan of the sort of 60s, 70s era where you've got like the Kirby Crackle going on, and you've got all these really outlandish space things going on in comics. And around this time, I was like, why not do Doctor Strange? I had a very nice alcohol marker, which was borderline a highlighter. I thought this just really pops, and let's do something fun with it.
Well, it does. It looks fantastic. Nice background, nice eye pop. Really good, really, really good. And I can imagine the Cave Maniacs are going to be jumping at this one too. Next up, we have a character that a lot of people didn't even know existed, and many of them may not even still know if they haven't watched the show or read those comic books. And this we have Vigilante, and he made his TV premiere on Peacemaker alongside John Cena. He was the sidekick, his Robin, essentially.
Yeah, it was. I love that show. I thought the Suicide Squad movie was really, really good, way better than the original attempts from a few years ago. And the minute he was introduced into the show, I was like, "This is a good, fun character who is, he is almost Deadpool, but at the same time, like having him be John Cena's Robin." As Peacemaker is just really fun. I can't wait for the next season of that.
Yeah, he's Deadpool-ish with his attitude, but you got to respect him a little more because he can't heal like Deadpool does. Something bad happens to Vigilante, he's just got.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's just a regular dude.
Yeah, it almost gives me Kick-Ass.
Yeah, well. Exactly. Yeah, Kick-Ass. That's a mix between Kick-Ass and Deadpool's attitude. That'd be perfect. Yeah.
Definitely. And
if you guys have not seen that show, I recommend going and watching that, and you'll understand why all the hype is and why he probably chose to do this character. Just a fantastic character, and the actor did a really good job.
I agree.
Next up, we have a multiple personality card here with this Moon Knight. And even the background is different on both sides. Let's talk about that. What made you want to do that?
So I thought to myself when I was writing up my list of who I should do, I thought, I like Moon Knight and I like Mr. Knight. And I thought, I can't do two of them because there's not enough space for other characters. So I thought, why not just put them both together and do them split? Because that, in a way as well, it reflects how they are anyway.
Yep, exactly.
So yeah, that was my approach with this. I think this might be my favorite card out of the whole set.
It's nice, that's for sure. It is for sure. I can't wait to see which Cave of Maniac, which card actually goes to first choice. It's going to be interesting. It always is. Next up, we have Scarlet Spider. And is this from the from the comic book or is this the video game version?
This was Miles Morales from Into the Spider-Verse. Yeah, I love the movie and the art style of the movie, and I really wanted to bring the sort of very rogue colours in with this one because I draw a lot of muted things and don't often lean into very, very bright colours. Obviously, with all these cards, they're more colourful than what I'd usually do myself outside of this. So he was one of the first, and I was like, I'm just going to go ham with colours.
Well, I think it is an awesome card, a nice inclusion into this set, and I think, once again, somebody's going to be lucky to try to win this. Next up, and I'm thinking real hard here. I'm partial to the God of War for obvious reasons, but I imagine this Black Panther is going to be pretty close to being one of the first cards chosen. I bet if I had to bet, I bet knowing the people that watch the show, I know this is probably going to be one of the first. If it's not the first one, it's going to be in the top 3 that go. So let's talk about this card, man, because you did an amazing job on this with a black background on a black character to still be able to do shading and hues. That's really good.
Thank you. It was once again, I believe this was around the time of the trailers for Wakanda Forever, and I thought I haven't drawn Black Panther enough for how good of a character that he is, and I saw these excellent pieces of photography where someone had taken pictures of. There's a replica helmet you can get, and they'd taken pictures of them, and they'd like mess around with the contrast and made some really interesting black and white stuff with it. So I thought I will do something like that. And then the crown was introduced because of the imagery that it comes with. A lot of sort of rap icons with the off-kilter crown, and it all just came together and had that faint purple glow. It's next to Moon Knight. I'd say those are my top two.
Awesome. Yeah, just good looking cards, bro. Next, we've got the big gorilla beast himself, King Kong.
I'm very partial to King Kong. I love Godzilla, but at the same time, to me, King Kong he's just a big monkey, and I love it.
Yeah, me
he's
too.
Just a big monkey who punches things, and you can't get any more simple than that.
Yeah, I've been a King Kong guy since I was probably 5-6 years old. So over 30 years.
Yeah, he's so. It's like Godzilla as well in a way where it's just there's something so simplistic about just a big monster punching things and wrecking things, and like I saw Kong, and then there was Godzilla vs Kong, and I wouldn't say it's a perfect movie, but it satisfied my need to see big big monsters punch each other.
I thought it was pretty good, and I can't wait for the new one. It looks like it's going to be amazing.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. I'm down for 3 hours of just them fighting. I'll take that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. A bunch of good special effects in those movies.
Oh yeah.
Next up, we have a character that everyone loves to hate, and that's Homelander from The Boys.
So, I haven't read the comics. I've seen YouTube videos that explain them all, and I know it's not the most flawless series of comics, but the show is impeccable. And I wanted to do Homelander, but in that massive chin, really blocky shaped head from the comics to represent him, as opposed to doing a take on how he is in the show, because I feel like he just looks more unhinged in that way. And I just love the show. I just can't wait for another season.
Yeah, well, and that's the beauty of The Boys and like Invincible or whatever, because if you read the comic book script, the how-to for comic books, because it's out there, if you read it, it tells you that when you draw your good guy, he has the square jawline, the very defined chin. This is your good guy, outline for your blueprint. So the fact that he is such an evil dude, like, yeah, it just gets all the creative juices flowing when you think about it in that sense.
Oh yeah, he's designed exactly opposite to how he is.
Yep. Fantastic stuff. Over here, right up under Doctor Strange, we have the woman that was his opposite in the last Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness movie, and that is Scarlet Witch.
I really quite like Scarlet Witch. My fiance loves her. We have a signed Elizabeth Olsen piece on the wall up there.
Awesome.
And she suggested that I draw her. I was like, go on then, I'll do it. And I decided to go with the more monotone reds for this one, because I thought the idea that it all being in red tones would be really, really good. And I went for it. I mean, it's a bit more pink than I would have liked. However, the idea still stands.
Oh no, it's definitely hues of red there. So, and it's got a very Stranger Things-ish feel for the background from the upside down. I like it.
Oh yeah, I can see that 100%.
Next up, we have the Terminator himself. You know he'll be back.
Always. So I leaned similar to the idea with Wanda of going with more singular colours. With this one, he ended up more on the fiery orange side, and I really quite like it. I thought, we'll blow a bit of the skin off, have the skull underneath. So yeah, I just enjoyed having a go with that one.
Yep, I think you did well. Next year, we have Emma Frost. You guys know her from X-Men.
Yeah, so this one was a little challenge to myself to create depth and shadows on white and making it look like glass, as opposed to making it look like it's not finished. Because often shading whites with just greys is hard unless you start with a grey and you build up with a white. So my idea was to use the shades of blue and bring those shapes and the shadow into with just pale blues.
That's good job.
Thank you.
That's what I see here. So you accomplished the mission. Mission accomplished. Now, this card here, man, I said this is going to be in the top, one of the top 3. I said that. This is 2. It never fails. Darth Maul is one of those characters that I don't care how long that movie has been out or how long it's been since he's been on the forefront of anything Star Wars. Anything Darth Maul goes like that. It is gone.
I love Darth Maul. Like, I will catch flack for saying that my favorite Star Wars movie is Phantom Menace. Mainly because of the whole Duel of the Fates, and I don't think any movie has matched it. Revenge of the Sith, with the Anakin Obi-Wan fight, I don't think it's on par. And it's sort of boosted my love for Darth Maul when the Clone Wars came out. I was prime age to watch that on Cartoon Network. I've gone back and watched it since, and just his arc in that being more than just a silent assassin and going into Rebels and how his story ends. It's brilliant. He's, I would say, my favorite Star Wars character.
I would agree. Yeah, I would agree. Like I say, I know enough about Star Wars to get by most of the time. I'm not like a super huge fan like a lot of them are here at the cave. I am more Star Wars than I am Star Trek. I will say that. But I'm a big Darth Maul fan, and we've got to interview Ray Park on the show or whatever. So yeah, it we're fans of him in general. So yeah, fantastic card, bro. Next up, we've got She-Hulk's man play thing, and that's going to be Daredevil. He took the walk of shame in that show, which is one of the things that I kind of disagreed with. I was like, they really going to do Daredevil like that? But it is what it is.
He took it proudly. I will admit, he took it proudly.
Yeah. Walking with his shoes in his hand. What a joke. What guy does that? Yeah,
I think it was more for the visual gag of it.
Yeah.
But Daredevil is my favourite character in anything, really. I remember when the show came out, I used to hide under my duvet with my iPad because I was 12 at the time. And I would sit and I binged the first season, and when the second season came out, I binged that. And then the third season came out, I stayed off school and watched it all in a day. And since then, I've read so many comic runs, and I genuinely think, I said it to David Mack when I met him at Thought Bubble 2 years ago, that I think he is the most consistently well-written character, at least in Marvel, because there's not really any point where I can say that stories he's had are terrible. In the same way that I can with Spider-Man, because I feel like Spider-Man's my second favourite character. I grew up with the Raimi movies and then moved on with those. The movies led me into Marvel. But like with Daredevil, there's not a singular bad story in a way that Spider-Man has 3 bad stories for every 2 good ones.
Yeah.
He's just a stellar character.
Well, Spider-Man being so popular is why that happens. It's because they can take those chances in his stories, like for instance, the death of Miss Marvel that just happened in comics. Spider-Man issue 26 or whatever. Amazing Spider-Man 26. That if they would have put that in her book, nobody would have cared.
Exactly.
But they put it in a Spider-Man book, and immediately it's it's the big.
He's a vehicle for other stories because of the popularity that he has, and there's just the fact that, like, I remember I stopped reading comics a few months ago, and I think it was like the end of the Beyond saga, I think it's about a year ago now, actually. But I remember it was like one issue a week. They were breezing through that thing, and you must think about how many times a year his release gets changed from monthly to bi-weekly to weekly. The amount of stories that get pumped out, they're never going to all hit. But I think that Daredevil has escaped that problem even with just a monthly release for his book. He's not a single dry point I can remember in a long time.
Yep, I understand. Yeah, they do some things in those comic books.
Definitely.
Last but not least here, brother, we have Dark Ray.
Yeah, so this one was suggested to me by someone who follows my artwork. And I thought, you know what? I'll give it a go. I'll bounce out the Star Wars a little bit. And it's only a short scene, but the idea, in the same way that Luke's face is on Darth Vader's body in Empire Strikes Back, I think is really cool. And it leans into that like very over-designed and silly foldable double lightsaber. But I think it's really quite cool. I like little gimmicky things like that. But I thought, you know what? I'll give it a go. Do something a bit different.
Well, awesome, brother. I know the Cave Maniacs are going to be happy to get a chance to win these cards and hear this interview. So before we wrap this up, let's tell them, you got anything going on or any projects that you're doing that they can look forward to, and how do they follow you on social media?
So I post on Instagram and TikTok. My Instagram being... One second. I forget what order my Instagram username is in. W Powell _illustrator. My TikTok's the same. At the moment, I am drawing every single NBA mascot. I've made that my goal for the summer, to round off all of those. All digital work. So that's my project of the summer.
Awesome, brother. Awesome. Well, you guys be sure to go give him a follow. You got a second to hang out with me so I can tell everybody what we got going on around here?
Yep.
All right, guys. On every Thursday night, we have Gabe's Cave After Dark, where I sell comic books auction style with my homie Lexington, where Party Marty also sometimes makes an appearance. Many of the books start at $1. DP's Food Truck Court is still under works. It should be finished by the end of this summer. And yeah, you guys just keep coming back and tuning in. And in September, we have the Cowtown Comic Con. That is the 30th of September through October 1st. That is one of our favorite cons to go to, because that's where a lot of our buddies that we stay in contact with on a regular basis, they're all under the same roof at one time. Yeah, brother. You got anything else to say to the people?
Have a good time with life.
All right, well, this is what I need you to do. I need you to take your fingers like this and just hold it out where the camera can see and just go click, click, and you're going to send everybody off to win the cards from last week.
Lovely jubbly. Click, click.
Congratulations, all you lucky winners, you 1 through 10, and you loot box, you dead last. You're a loser, but we love you anyway, and that's why we're going to hook you up with the best prize. And you could even get one of these thrown in your loot box. Who knows? That's right. All right, brother. Appreciate the interview, man. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us, Cave Maniacs. Until next week, Uncle Nasty, we out.